Yeah, orange light, not the bright white light, because that's sometimes kind of annoying. But Spider-Man No Way Home, I'm a little bit late to this, although I could be later. I'm about as late as I was with like seeing Avengers Endgame. Like I saw it like a week or so after. Although this, whatever. The point is, Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm not sure if I really need to talk about the plot. It's literally one of the most popular movies, at least so far. I mean, in the long run, possibly not. It might just be like popular for bringing back I think those two generations of like Spider-Man. I guess three, but like well, basically the point is it's a well-known movie. I guess I'll still explain the plot. So basically, Spider-Man's identity has been revealed by Mysterio, and now basically him and his friends are fucked. Like they can't even get to college. There's a lot of controversy around that thing. Like, oh, he's a devil. In this guy's like he's a murderer because like they thought Mysterio was really cool. Because the I guess the whole illusion is still kept alive. And basically he goes to Doctor Strange to try and like get this spell to like make everyone forget. But he ends up messing it up, I guess, by being like, oh, can we have like these select few people? He just messes it up. And so basically starts bringing in people like villains who know Spider Man's identity, like, well, Green Goblin, Electro, Sandman, the Lizard, and Doc Ock. So I'm just gonna get started with, I guess, the negatives because I have a few, but not that much. I will say Sandman and the Lizard aren't really developed as characters. Okay, yeah, the light is being weird. Sandman and not Electro. Electro is pretty decently developed, but Sandman and the Lizard aren't really developed. I get that they already have movies behind them, and I understand that, but I was hoping it'd bring something new. Like I'd hoping you get a little bit different view on their character because they're in a different fucking multiverse, different universe or whatever. So that was a little disappointing. Like, there's a point where like this really cool scene happens, but basically, kind of before that, I guess Zendaya's character, like MJ, or one of them, is like, "All right, we left Lizard in the van because he didn't want to be in there." Like, really, like you're gonna keep this giant lizard, which Ned keeps calling like a dinosaur, in this van with no one to watch. What the hell? Obviously, he's gonna do something and fuck something up. These are villains from different universes. Bro, it's already a little dumb that Spider-Man is choosing to like try and help them, but still someone sounds like something that Spider-Man would do, but not leaving them in a van or letting others leave the lizard in the van. That would be really fucking dumb. That would make zero sense. That just sounds like a way for them to kind of like, oh, I don't know, do a diversion. I don't know if either they're a diversion for the lizard plan or the lizard is a diversion for their plan. Although depending on how irrelevant this dude is to the movie The Lizard, same thing with Sandman kind of. Although he is introduced along with Electro, so at least they introduce him instead of the lizard who just kind of shows up already in this prison where they're trying to travel where him and Doctor Strange, or Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, who later gets trapped basically for 12 hours until he returns for the climax. Um, I'm trying to trap them, so it kind of feels like they didn't really give that much of a shit about his character. I get maybe he wasn't the greatest villain, but like Electro was pretty shit, so like you still did him respect. Like you still gave respect to him, but like actually making him a good villain. So maybe you could have made, I don't know, the lizard a little bit better, more interesting. But yeah, that whole decision was kind of dumb. But yeah, those two characters generally, they're not the worst, but they're rather generic, honestly. The other three villains are really good, especially Doc Ock and Green Goblin. I'm not sure which one's better, Doc Ock or Green Goblin, because both are really good. You can argue for both. I mean, yeah, they were kind of generic characters that didn't really do that much. They were still pretty cool, but I don't know. The actor who plays the lizard apparently can be there to physically shoot much. I mean, it might have had something to do with the Kingsman. I don't know because he plays Rasputin in that. I've listened to that song Rasputin by Boney M quite a few times, a lot of times, because I have a lot of free time in school. Not a lot, but like there's like free time and stuff like that, and also just I listen to it because it's an objectively amazing fucking song. But yeah, they were kind of generic. Okay, so there's also one thing. This is a spoiler review, by the way. But at the end, where Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, there's the other two Spider-Mans. Basically, all this is going down. They're seeing a bunch of villains, a bunch of people who know Spider-Man's identities, most likely villains, coming into the universe, coming into the world at least. And so basically, Spider-Man's like, right, just make everyone, I guess, like, forget who he even really is. Not just that he's Spider-Man, but I guess forget who he really even is. Because I thought Ned and him were, like, friends, but he doesn't fucking acknowledge him at the end. Maybe I forgot, because I haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming in a while. But I thought they were friends before he knew he was Spider-Man. And when he still know, like, here's my question with the whole thing, where they forget he's Spider-Man. What about the video proof of Mysterio talking about that he's fucking Spider-Man? The Daily Bugle talking about it. Um, what about all the videos of people taking in the fucking school where they're like where they're taking videos of, and they're gonna be like, hey, why the hell do I have video of this dude? Like, they're gonna connect the dots and be like, hey, on this video, you see Mysterio talking about Peter Parker, and I'm taking video of him. I mean, like, what? That doesn't really make that much sense. Like, wouldn't you be like, what is the video like? Are they all released? That seemed like a lot of fucking videos to, if and that seems like a lot of videos to release because there's like 50 to probably like 500, if not like 500,000 people taking videos. So if anything, that seems like more effort than doing the original spell that messed them all up in the first place. So that's kind of weird actually. Like, I don't know. That doesn't really make much sense. Like, how the hell does that even work? Um, that whole thing. So that's just kind of generally a little bit weird. Um, yeah, that's all I gotta say about like that twist. I get not the twist, the ending, because like MJ and Ned don't even know who he is. They're just kind of like, "Who are you?" Ned doesn't even fucking talk to him. So I'm like, I'm so confused. But I do like the ending. We'll talk about that later. Well, a part of it. This is really grim and feels like actual Spider-Man. Um, and I guess there were a few too many jokes that didn't really work. They weren't like the worst. They weren't like cringeworthy. But I don't know. I guess there was a bunch of jokes, but like a lot of them either flew over my head or I just didn't really get why they were funny. MCU kind of has that whole track record of being a little bit too annoying with their humor. Even if it works, just be serious. And I am glad this movie's mostly serious, but sometimes it needs to dial it down. And sometimes it's like, this part is a little weird. Like, it seemed like they're spitballing like 5 jokes, and I just didn't understand any of them, or I didn't find them funny. That's a subjective thing, but it seems like there's a few too many jokes. Not way too many. This does seem, and I'm pretty sure is most likely much more serious than the first 2 Spider-Man movies. Not like the first 2 Tom Holland movies. May even be more serious than the first 2 like actual like real big budget Spider-Man movies with like Tobey Maguire. Um, so yeah, there was that. I kind of wish we spent a little bit more time with maybe Doc Ock and Green Goblin a little bit, because Green Goblin, I don't know why I say Green Goblin. Green Goblin was actually a pretty decently intense character, and I felt bad for him. I just wish we spent a little bit more time with maybe both of them. That's it. It's a very, very small complaint. It's not really nitpick, it's just like a little small thing that I wish we spent a little bit more time. Although, honestly, maybe I'm fine with that. I don't really know. I just kind of wish Sandman and like Lizard were more interesting characters. They weren't the worst, but Sandman is like a 6 out of 10, I guess, because he's slightly more interesting and memorable, I guess. And then, like, the Lizard is like, I don't know. It doesn't even make sense, actually. Here's one little small problem. When they all turn on Spider Man, the Sandman and the Lizard's excuse make no sense. The Lizard literally says, I told you there'd be consequences. Okay, but like, some of those consequences sound like you being an asshole and trying to kill him. Maybe don't do that. Why? I don't understand why he was doing that. Maybe can someone explain in the comments like why he was going after him? The Sandman, I forget. Like, yeah, he had a daughter, but like, okay. And why are you attacking this dude who's literally trying to help you? I get that he doesn't trust him, but he's literally been trying to help you and get past back to your timelines. I get that they're gonna die, but like, okay, what is he gonna do? Shit, you're not even supposed to be in this fucking dimension. Like, I mean, you're still the one who's like being a villain and terrorizing people in an alternate reality. So don't give me some shit about being sad that I'm gonna die. Well, fuck you. Maybe you should have thought about that before being a dumbass. But then again, Green Goblin kind of has an alter ego thing, and like Doc Ock, I don't know, he's just made more miserable because of like his hands. I forget the reason why, but yeah. Okay, those are my problems. Sounds like quite a few, but really not that much. I really enjoy this movie. I'm just gonna get straight into the positives. This movie was fucking entertaining to watch. I really enjoyed this movie. It's very entertaining, very well shot. There's like some, not really found footage, but like POV type stuff. And that just kind of reminds me of like found footage movies or like Hardcore Henry, like, and that's all like POV in like the original, and the Doc Ock fight, which is really great because it's just really cool, action packed. It's well shot. It's kind of intense. It's really cool that you see Green Goblin just briefly. You're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? Then nope, you get teleported to somewhere else. It's like, oh shit, I'm actually interested in this. It's like a cliffhanger. It isn't like some stupid shit where like Camp Cretaceous where you have cliffhangers for every season, including the newer one, which took me way too long to watch through because Not because 11 episodes. That's one more episode, like 22 more minutes on then season 3. I had no problem with season 3 mostly because they didn't have some stupid Kenji and Brooklyn side plot, and like that new season was just not Jurassic Park. It was not even Jurassic World. Not even like, it's just too much sci-fi shit. I don't care if it's realistic. It just is not Jurassic Park. There's a little bit less dinosaurs. But either way, I'll get into that maybe in another video. But the point is, I really like that scene. I also like how when Doc Ock I guess like one of his arms gets like the nanotechnology. I guess all of them, or at least one of them. I guess since like Spider-Man still has control over that part, like because it's nanotechnology and I'm bonded with it, which I do like. It's kind of a new thing. Although I'm not really sure I could do that when he's a villain from like the 2000s. How do you have that kind of technology to make him bond with other technology? But whatever, maybe nanotechnology does that on its own. But the point is, Spider-Man controls that arm, those arms, to like move this car with this lady who's like kind of like, he's basically going there to make her like talk to the people like MIT or one of the colleges that him, Ned, and MJ want to go to. So he's like basically controlling that to lift the arm, get him out of like this hole, like he's being held by one arms, and do all that stuff. So basically, kind of controls him against his will. So I like that. That was pretty cool. I also liked Doc Ock and Green Goblin and Electro. They're all really cool. I like their introduction sequences. I mean, Green Goblin, you just kind of see like the mask off and then you just see his face. There's not too much of a build up, but like still I really like that. I liked his character. You kind of feel bad for him, I guess, because he's like mentally like he's not okay. Like he has like this alter ego and it's not good. Not like is it not good movie wise or something like that. Like not good for characters wise. Cause like he's not mentally okay. He's like weird as hell. Willem Dafoe gives a really good performance. Like it doesn't even feel like he's like old at all or like that he's even aged. Cause like you still see him beat the shit out of Peter in this one scene with great build up. I'm gonna talk about other stuff. But yeah, I do like Green Goblin and Doc Ock the most. Cause I really like Doc Ock and how he's kind of like nice actually. Like once they like fix this chip, he's like much more nice because like the arms were like controlling him, well, making him feel more miserable for some reason, I forget. But I really like that. He was really cool. The actor Alfred Molina, I think Molina, was really good. Jamie Foxx is a pretty decent actor. He was pretty good in Electro. The introduction scene with him and Sandman was really cool. I do like that. I guess I'll talk about the scene that's like basically close to Aunt May's death, which was a pretty sad death. Basically there's like this really cool buildup where everything's all muffled, and I guess Peter's like, Peter Tingle, whatever the hell. Realistically, it's just the spider sense. Is like going off like crazy because something bad is really gonna happen, and it's really cool because you're like not sure what the hell's gonna happen. Then Green Goblin just goes into this really cool speech, and then shit starts hitting the fan. Sandman just creates a storm. Electro just goes crazy, which later you actually, in this like ending scene with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's characters, his face kind of like, there's like, it looks like the original Electro design with like the mask. So that's really cool. I noticed that like it was at least twice, and that was really fucking cool. So that was pretty cool. As you could tell, I had fun watching this movie. It was definitely fun. I would love to rewatch it. Hopefully it doesn't fucking suck on my second watch or some shit. Like how the beginning part of A Quiet Place 2 wasn't as cool rewatching, but still like that's awesome. I still really like that. It's still cool first scene. But the point is I like that whole scene. It's great build up. And then yeah, you see Willem Dafoe beat the shit out of Tom Holland kind of. I mean, they just go at it. The lizard briefly shows up because again, he's a character. He's like, actions have consequences. I'm like, shut the fuck up. He's just kind of there. The CGI looks decent. It does look a bit different from the 2012 movie. But yeah, that was still cool. He breaks out of the van because again, no one was fucking guarding. J. Jonah Jameson's in this for a bit. There's a lot to talk about, man. But he's in there. He's like trying to capture Spider-Man because he's a fucking piece of shit, at least in his mind. There's actually a later scene where like where they talk and like Spider-Man's like, wish me luck. And then J. Jonah Jameson booty rapes him. What the fuck? No, but he's basically kind of like talking about like how he wants to make things right, and that was kind of cool. But I do like the scene. It's very well done. Even though Sandman's kind of forgettable in this movie, he's still cool with the whole whirlwind thing, kind of like the tornado almost. That whole scene was pretty cool. I liked how Aunt May died. That sounds a little weird. It was sad. It wasn't just like some random plot contriving shit. Like, nah, Green Goblin was like, oh, you'll thank me later. I did 9/11. No, but like he throws a bomb. He tries to Tom Holland. Oh, Peter Parker. Like this universe one tries to stop it, but she still dies. Yeah, the great with great power comes great responsibility. Line maybe a bit forced. Same thing with the whole I'm something of a scientist myself is a bit forced, but it's kind of cheeky. It's kind of funny. A few jokes in this movie are funny. I guess it's an inside joke, but also not really, because like these movies aren't exactly inside. It's like not like these movies are pretty well known, so I don't know if it's an inside joke, but yeah, that was pretty cool. I like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man's how they're portrayed in this movie. I like them. Yeah, Tobey Maguire's is much more like wise. I mean, you could tell Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker feels really bad for losing MJ. Well, yeah, was it MJ or Gwen Stacy? I forget. I'm sorry for the cursing, but I forget. And when he gets to save MJ, like this one in this universe, it's definitely like, this is a really cool moment because he actually saves her, kind of like he kind of has like a redemption, and I really like that. I like both of them. They're not in the movie for a whole lot, but they do have a pretty good amount of screen time. Excuse me. I do like that. They're decently funny. I like the banter, and that was really good. I have like pretty much zero problems with their characters. I like them. Doctor Strange comes back. He's actually good in this. I always wonder why, like in these solo movies, why no other like Avenger comes to help. With this one, they do have Doctor Strange and Wong, I think. But he kind of pieces out because, like, don't want to get involved in shit. But like Doctor Strange was kind of in for a bit. He was cool. There's like this whole train fight sequence, which was pretty cool because he tried to get like this box from Spider-Man, which could like send all the villains back, and then they end up like trying to create like this substance to like stop them. Sorry, I had something in my mouth. Basically, like stop them. It kind of leaves him just like sitting there because like with the Green Goblin, after that he's just kind of sitting there. Who also stabs Tobey Maguire's Peterman, Spider-Man, which was kind of like like oh shit. But like I also really like the scene where Tom Holland's Peter Parker or like Spider-Man gets beat the shit out of Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. And it's just like yes, come on. And then he basically is about to stab him with this glider, kind of like reminiscent of like Spider-Man, like the 2002 one, the glider, where it says Godspeed Spider-Man, like in this really fucking weird voice. It's kind of funny. I need to rewatch those movies straight up. I think I have all of them, like on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever, because physical is better than digital. Haha, yeah, take the fucking L. No, but being serious, uh, that was really cool. I did like how Tobey Maguire's character stops him, like his version of Spider-Man, because he's a bit more wiser. He's been through this shit. He's probably older, realistically. I think I don't know, because if those movies do take place in the 2000s, then yes, he's older, probably around like his 30s, 40s. So yeah, does make sense. I'm just kind of sad why there's no Spider-Man 4 from that series and no Amazing Spider-Man 3. They do actually mention the Rhino. I was kind of hoping they'd, I don't know, show like a flashback of him being the show, the Rhino with Paul Giamatti playing an ape from Planet of the Apes. That fucking Mark Wahlberg movie was just weird as shit. Sorry I'm getting off topic. But they do mention that. That was pretty cool. Generally, I just really like the film. I think that's all I gotta say. I think the film's good. Oh, the ending. The ending was really cool. It's kind of grim because now Spider-Man's living in this like shitty apartment, barely able to afford rent, making this kind of like older version of the Spider-Man costume, like the more iconic one. And that was really cool. You could tell he's really at his peak, like actual authentic real Spider-Man. I'm kind of curious what Spider-Verse 2 does with this. I just really hope that movie's good. It's probably gonna be a bit better than this. I think this is one of the better Spider-Man movies, but not as good as Into the Spider-Verse. That's like one of my favorite fucking movies. I need to rewatch that. That's a great movie. But this is also pretty good. Like I recommend you watch it. It's really great. I had a fun time watching it. Although we were in the front seat, like in the back, basically. So that not like in the front, but like to the side. So that wasn't really fun. Arching my neck up like that, and like mask is kind of annoying on my nose. But generally, the film is more than entertaining enough to stop that from being a real nuisance, I guess. It was kind of annoying the first 30 minutes or so after that. But after that, the movie was really entertaining. Like, I was consistently entertained. I liked all of the Spider-Mans, how they interacted. I liked the villains for the most part. Yes, Lizard and Sandman could have gotten more characterization. They weren't the worst, but I really wish they got more stuff to do. I just like the film overall. It's well done. It's well shot. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but like, I think Santa's trying to break into our house. But yeah, it was really well done. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.